Hello everyone, welcome to .NET Mirror channel. Today let's understand how can we create an Azure App Service and deploy our application to Azure using Azure CLI as a deployment option. In this video, let's understand what is an Azure App Service, what are different deployment methods to deploy to Azure App Service. We will create an Azure app and deploy the local app to Azure App Service via CLI. At the end, we will try to see the deployed version of application on the cloud. Make sure you have Visual Studio IDE or any other IDE, Azure account, Azure CLI installed locally, development knowledge of ASP.NET, C Sharp, and Azure, and basic knowledge of deployment. Let's understand what is an Azure App Service. It's a fully managed platform as a service which enables you to build and deploy web applications, APIs, mobile backends without managing any infrastructure. And you can pick up your own programming language to develop your application. It could be .NET, Java, Python, PHP, any application. And once the application is developed, you can use below different deployment methods to deploy to Azure App Service. The ones which are in green, I have already created a YouTube videos and which are available in my Azure App Service playlist. You can go and watch. Today we will try to focus on Azure CLI, which is highlighted in yellow. Let's look at that particular option today. Let's understand what is an Azure CLI. It's a okay. Let's understand what is an Azure CLI. It's a cross-platform command line tool where you can connect to the Azure and execute commands where you can provision the resources. You can go and deploy to your Azure resources. Using this, you can write automated scripts and you don't need to go and manually do the things in Azure portal. Automatically scripts go and provision resource for you, deploy the things for you. It's an easy option for you where you write once and execute multiple times. Before you start with CLI, make sure you download the installer for Windows, Mac, or Linux, whatever the one you want to pick up. Once you install it, you can authenticate to your Azure using AZ login, then set the subscription. Once everything is ready, I have given an example where in the fourth one, it is trying to create an resource group called My Group. So today we will try to focus on creating an Azure app service via CLI. Once it is done, we will take an web app locally and we will deploy to Azure App Service everything from Azure CLI. Let's get into the demo. Let's go to the script which is there in the PPT. And if you look at the script, so we are giving a resource group name where you want to deploy. That's a location. What is your app service plan name? What is your web app name? Make sure it has to be unique. I have doing a DNM web app. I'm trying to get a date so that it could be unique. Then I'm saying go and deploy to .NET 10. You can say Java, PHP, any kind of application. You can change it. This is the app service plan. I'm taking the free version. You can go for uh, standard or premium based on your need. Once these parameters are ready, we are trying to create a resource group. Once the resource group is available, we are saying that create app service plan with the plan name called DNM web app with CLI under this resource group under this particular location, and we are saying create a free app service plan. Once the app service plan is provisioned, then we are going to create a web app with the web app name is this. Then the same resource group, we are saying use this app service plan. We are saying use .NET as a runtime. Once your web app is ready, we can go and create application, then use that application and deploy to app service using AZ web app. It is basically take your app from the root folder. It will zip your application, deploy to Azure App Service. Once the app is deployed, you will get deployment completed and automatically it returns your web app name. Once it is provisioned, it will deploy the entire URL. Let's execute this particular commands. Before that, go to Azure CLI. I will give the link in the description. You can install the Azure CLI if you don't have it. What you can do is you can open the PowerShell in admin mode, execute this command, automatically Azure CLI is installed. Now let's open the PowerShell. So let me open the developer PowerShell for Visual Studio. So let me run as administrator. I already connected to my Azure account, so I will not run this command, but I will show you the agent account show. So now if you run this command, it is connected to my Azure account. It is trying to show my tenant plus the details. So now it is connected. Let's go and run the deployment script. So the only change I have made here is you no need to run create web app automatically. Az web app goes creates and deploys the application. You don't need to explicitly create the web app. So now let me run this particular deployment script. Before this, what I have done is I have a basic ASP.NET application which is pushed to GitHub my repo. I will provide the link in description. The same application I have opened in Visual Studio. It is running. And if you see my local application, it is just has a home page and the privacy page. Now we will try to deploy this application. Let's stop this one. And I have gone to the root folder of this application. So go to the application code where it is available, and in the same place I have placed my PowerShell code here with the deploy.ps1 file. So let's use this directory. I will make like full screen. So I will change to the same directory. Let me run the deploy ps1 file. Before that, let me show you in my Azure account in the resource groups. If I refresh, we don't have any resource group name called DNM demo. So let's make it like this, like demo. I will remove this one as well. So there's no resource group called DNM Azure App CLI demo. Now let's run our script. So let's go to the PowerShell. Let's run this script. Now we see here it says it's trying to create a resource group. So it is doing our first step, which is this one. It is trying to creating a resource group. Yeah, our resource group is succeeded. Now it is creating a app service plan. The app service plan is this. Yeah, the app service plan. As I did not change my save my ps file, still it is taking as one. So let's proceed with that only. So now there is app service plan called DNM web app with CLI1. Now it is deploying the code to DNM web app with the dynamic name. It says it doesn't exist. Now it is creating the plan. If not, it is updating already exists one. Now it's creating the web app. Once the web app is created, it will use zip deployment as an option. It will go and deploy our app code. Let's wait for a minute. So now it's configuring the default logging. It is creating a zip for the our local root path, right? Now it's creating the zip file. It is getting the credentials. It will now start deploying with zip. So if you look at here, I commented the code where it is trying to take the runtime, right? Here there is no runtime. You can go and provide, but automatically what it does is it goes and picks up our runtime as a .NET. You can see that now. So now, yeah, it is done now. The app is deployed. The app service plan is this. And if you look at here, automatically the detected version is 10. Automatically from our code, it has picked up as a .NET 10. And from this source path, it is deployed. Our deployment is completed. So let's refresh this. So we got a resource group, and there's an app service plan. If you look at here, yeah, if you look at here, it's a .NET version. It's a free tier. And let's go back to the web app. Sorry, this is a web app. If you go to the app service plan, so this is your app service plan. It's a free service. In Canada Center it is created, and there is one app. So let's go to the app. Now let's browse this app. So the same application which is there in local, now it is deployed to Azure. With this, we are done with the demo. Basically, we have created Azure resource group. Then we have created a app service plan. Then we have created an application and pushed our code using Azure CLI. Let's go to the PPT. Yeah, now we are done with this demo. I have few articles. I will try to provide the links in the description. With this, we are done with the demo. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, click on the like button, share with your friends, and click on bell icon to get my updates from my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.